Alright, so let's look at this. What are we looking at here? So here we have the market. Let's look over 10-day period. Price did not ultimately get to this 20,600 pivot zone. Also, 20,000 is probably going to be a key area. Here we have if we go back further, we could see 20K zone, and we're breaking away, forming a slight top at a pivot zone. Okay, so at this point we're looking for a minimum target of this yellow line, an ultimate target of here. Well, actually, here, and then a possible dip down into here, down into here. So it's multi-time frame analysis to me is pretty silly, but on a 4-hour we have a huge wick candle. On a 15-minute, perfect rejection off the zone. On a 5-minute, so when you're looking at this, you have to understand we have this whole entire day. This is the whole day, so we want to split that in two. So let's draw a line at, what is it, 10 o'clock probably. Looks like the halfway mark. Okay, and let's get, just for, so don't confuse anybody here. So we still have probably about 9:30. Alright, hold on, let me get this crying baby. Alright. Hey Maddie, if you're watching this, try to type something so I can see if the chat works. Alright, so still got half of a day perfect rejection. Possible bounce up into the pivot zone here, but I think we come lower, to be honest. But we have to assume that price is coming from below the 88. It's got above the 0 now. So we're looking at support being the 88, and our target is being up here. Right? Because the market, it may think it's tricky market here. So our best possible short is shorting in this area, and we would put a stop loss here, and we would be targeting all the way down here, because we want to go from zone to zone ideally. And again, if we go into the macro chart, this would take us, I mean, we could dump, you know, we could trend, we could, but we also could not. So we have to think about risk to reward, what's the best play, and is the best play just to wait? Because what we could do is we could wait, we could identify if it wants to come lower, and then we could hop in and scalp 10 points, you know, whatever, however many points, and it makes some quick money. So what do we have here? We have a lot of buying volume. So the only selling volume we had was right here at this bar, and you can see how it kind of like came up and then boom, snapped. So the opening price of this bar is right here. So if price could stay below that price, that's a good sign. Also, you would also think that this area, this pivot zone, is going to shoot it down, because this is not fulfilled yet. So this was our target, and this didn't come low enough. So ultimately, we are going to come lower, 100% ultimately. It's just this thing could go higher, and then all of a sudden one day be down here. So we want to wait. Now it is 8:22. Honestly, after this time it gets pretty shitty. Price is moving, which is great, but it's very choppy, so your normal thought processes like around the market and around buying to go here and there is less likely, because after 8:30 the market just like it does weird shit. So you got to be careful after this. In the morning time, you could put a trade on and probably catch a nice runner and a nice big trade. And after 8:30, it's a little bit sketchy. So we don't want to fight the market. We don't want to have a bias that we're going lower and then try to short it as it's going higher. If the market's going higher, we typically want to be looking for entries to go higher. And if market's going lower, we want to be looking for entries to go lower. And we can't do neither, because the market technically is going lower. However, it's making a reversal. So we have to wait. But we could execute once we see this thing start building up. And how we want to see is we want to see the move begin to develop and the volume still be little. And then when the move starts developing, the volume starts increasing. And then typically when the move is over, that's when you're going to get the highest volume spurt. But it doesn't always work like that. It's just something to watch. And so this was a perfect rejection off the 12. Even if you took that 12 short, you could have got out for fucking 12 points quickly. Well, you would wouldn't have got filled actually on this 12 because it didn't actually hit the 12. So you might be FOMOing, thinking you want short. At this point, I think we make some pretty large random moves. So it's best to stay out. But we'll see, because we still got a long day left. We'll see if we could, in hindsight, see what this wants to do. Because if this does want to go lower, we're going to see some big pushes lower. And if it doesn't want to go lower, then it's going to still consolidate. Oh shit.
Nice to be with you. I'm trading with you.
My baby. Alright, so this can either be the best possible entry to go long as we pull back into the 88, or knowing that price ultimately wants to go lower, we still have, I mean, it could still definitely come lower. I think I'm going to take a little short position in here. 3 micro contracts. Now, I might get ran over. That's okay. My stop loss, though, my stop loss is definitely like above, like at 6. So we have all red volume. We need this to pick up. The only reason I like this because we can trend into the last. We can trend for another hour. So if this is a reversal, meaning we went higher in the morning, we drop down and we come all the way back down to the macro target, which is all the way down here at the yellow line, it is possible. So I like the little pullback, pull up, missed the entry at the 12, meaning it's pretty strong, and then you can see the volume is all red. So we're already up $50 in this. So I took 3 micros, so I'm gonna scale. I'm gonna start kind of scaling out of this trade. Just took one off there. But I'm going to take one more off at 66, and then I'll leave the other one on to the absolute target. So we're taking one off like right here, and then we're leaving one on with a stop loss at whatever. If price could actually break, if it doesn't bounce off of this pivot zone. Why would it bounce off of this pivot zone? Is because this is the macro level is 500, so 500 may be a magnet point for price, and so price would come into the pivot zone, bounce back into 500. 66 is the ultimate target for the pivot zone, meaning if 66 tags, even though the pivot zone is 62 to 50, 66 is the same thing as hitting it. So the volume's picking up. Big red bar just broke the lows of the day. Now we need some continuation here. If the 66 tags, I'm good to go. Now, why do we know it's going to go lower, you say? And it's not just this clue here. This is one clue, but we also have a clue from yesterday ish. I mean, this came down, bounced directly off the 33. Now, the fact that it bounced off the 33 is nice. However, when it broke this pivot zone right here, it should have actually came down and tested this 400 level, but it didn't. And that 400 is not even it. It should have went down to 3. It should have kept going a lot further is what I'm trying to say. It didn't. It bounced off there, and then we did get some closes below here without fulfilling the next level. So this should have acted as pretty strong support, which it did here, and then overnight this pivot zone held the whole time, right? And so now we are back at this. We know that price ultimately wants this area. However, we know that that's not a macro level. The macro level is down here, so that it's actually this zone is the one we want, not this one. So we're looking for a pretty big down move in price. And you can see here's a little spurt of volume there. Looks like we might get filled on our contract in a second here. We were really close, 69, 70. Now the good thing about this is that this volume, all red, and price is staying below it. So now our new support is this one. The last one was this candle, because this is the high spot, or it was this big red candle, and now this big red candle. So we could use those as some type of, we don't want to see price get back above those candles. Now price just hit my TP for TP2. I had 3 contracts, so I have 1 contract left, and this one I'm just gonna let it go. It's up $40. I'm gonna move my stop loss back up to. I'm gonna move my stop loss above this candle, so I could still lose on this contract, but I'll be up overall on the trade. So I'm actually gonna do my stop loss on 500. 500 is this level. And if I see it, like, I may get out before it hits my stop loss. Because really what I want to see is, I don't want to see this level get broken. I want to see his tank right now. I don't want to see his revisit anything. So actually I'm going to move my stop loss. See, the thing is it could like wick. That's what I'm scared of. It could just wick. But it would never get above 88. I don't want to see it get above 88. So that really where my stop loss is right above 88, which is where my entry was. But so far, this specific trade that we just took is a really, really great trade. It's up 25 points, which is huge. I'm actually trading size down. I'm like trading the least amount of size I have been for the last month. So normally I would be making a fuck ton of money right now. But you know how it goes. So we wait usually around if we want to kind of be out of any type of trend position halfway through the day, because halfway through the day is kind of like so around 9:50, 10 o'clock, like that's basically where the market's probably going to turn and consolidate or something like that. Even though 10:15 is an algorithm time where something happens and maybe a trend starts at 10:15 to like 11. But typically around that halfway point is when you're going to get the turnaround or the break, right? So the 10:15 algo may turn it into another 1 hour trend, but that 1 hour trend is coming off of what was already a trend from the morning session. Boeing up 5%. So if you watch my Instagram, you know I talked about Boeing. Boeing is up 5%. Huge. Alright, so this is what I was talking about. So the reason why I didn't put my stop loss so tight, a lot of people when they're in these trades, they're gonna be putting their stop loss like, oh, I don't think it should break, the body of this candle, so they'll put their stop loss there, and that's, they'll get taken out. Or I don't want it to go above this candle, and they'll put their stop loss there and they'll get taken out. And so normally on an uptrend, putting your stop loss below the previous candle's low is a decent strategy. However, on a downtrend, you're going to get a lot more wicks to the upside, so we need to keep our stop loss at a fair distance. See, if you're on an uptrend and you put your stop and you put your stop and you put your stop and stop and stop, and then you would have been stopped out right here just before the big move down. And then stop, 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 you would have been stopped out here. And even on this, see how none of the candles kind of go below. Anyways, it's not like exact, it's just guidance. When the market's moving, you want to use the previous candles as guidance, and this allows you to have patience by letting candles close and form, because some candles form huge wicks and do crazy shit. Like this candle opened up, pretended like it was going higher, and then boom, and then this candle freaking closed way up here. These are huge moves in the market. And then we got right here, so easily this thing could be like go all the way back up, and then come all the way back down. So it could do some crazy shit like that. I don't see it doing that. So this is pretty good. So we have the volume spike, the volume coming down, the price still staying down here, and now we want to see it start coming down, and the volume still being low. So we want to see down movement with the volume not increasing. And if that happens, then the move could get really big, because then the volume could increase once the move gets pretty big. So here we go. Boom. Let's see if this could continue. See, now we just have to worry about this, is that price fell right into our pivot zone, and the pivot zone is the closest one to the macro 500 level. So we just don't, we want to... Cooper.
first of work.
You working from home?
Yeah, because that Malibu fire is gonna be impossible to get down to Playa Vista.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that thing is raging.
It's
Yeah, what are you
windy
doing?
as shit.
You streaming? Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm streaming.
Yeah, it looks good, dude. Just go into OBS and make your little window a little bigger.
For me?
Yeah. Yeah, you're a little small on the bottom right. But it sounds good.
Are you watching it right now or no?
No, I had it on and then I had to click off. Hanging with Roski and Audrey as well, so I had to only pop in for a minute.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool. Are you using your camera?
No.
No. Well, try to fiddle with that and see if you can get it to work. Because that would make it look really nice.
Yeah, I'll try to fiddle with it.
Yeah, fiddle and diddle, dude.
Well, let me know if you want to kick it for a little bit later.
Alright, I'll hit you up.
Alright.
Alright, brother, man. Hey, good game last night, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, dude. Yeah, well, I'm proud of you for getting that all set up. That's huge.
Alright.
Good work. That's the first step. Dude, you gotta stream every morning, dude. Get it fired up.
Yeah, I just want, I could stream every morning and whatnot, but I want everything set up to where, like, it notifies my Instagram, it notifies my Discord, it notifies this.
Yeah. Well, I think Streamlabs is that's what you need.
Well, come over and help me set this shit up.
Alright, I'll figure it out. I'll do a little research.
Alright.
Alright, dude. Good luck out there.
Alright, peace. So I like that the volume hasn't really moved. I like that we're moving lower. However, I don't like us stalling right here. I'm definitely gonna put my stop loss I'm like at break even, so 77 stop loss. And when I say 77, that means it's about right here. That's for my final contract, so this trade's we already took profit. We have some skin in the game, and we're gonna see what this thing can do. I want to be out of it by around 10 o'clock, though. What we're really looking for, though, is zone to zone. So, zone to zone, zone to zone. But we don't want to. We want to see this go. So actually, what we could do, I'm gonna put my stop loss at like 67, so right above this, like 68. $69. So my new stop loss, it should be at 77, and I don't care that it's at 77. It's just, I'll take the McDonald's money, the extra $10, put my stop loss down here at 69. Because if this thing gets shut, like, I don't want to see it get above the green line, ideally. And if it does get above the green line, I don't want to see it get above 66, which is right about here. So I wouldn't want to see price get back above here. That's why I'm putting my stop here. I want to see this continue. So here we are breaking 50 almost. This will be big. If we could break 50, we should be able to fall down into here. Ultimate target. Now most, it's iffy. We have a lot of support here. But what did we say about the volume? So we wanted to see that volume kind of stay low and it continue moving lower so that we could save that big spurt of volume to get way down here. Here we go, breaking 50, 49. Now we kind of want to see that volume kind of start to slowly come up. And what we could do on this break is we could put our stop loss at like 56 once it does break, if it breaks. So right now it's unfortunate because we're anticipating the break and it's not breaking, which is a bad sign. The reversal might be coming. And if you hindsight this shit, it's like perfect textbook reversal. Because this is the pivot zone. So remember, like I said, we could hit the green line, but I don't want to see it come back above 66. Tell you when I'm stopped out. So we just hit 66. Kind of where you want to see some rejection right now. If we could get rejection off of this, that'll be a really good sign. We can maybe even add to it, but it doesn't look like we are. So it missed my stop loss by 1 point. Cooper, hey. I don't know. So our stop got hit. So we are out of that trade. I will think it's funny if 77 never tags. So 77 was our original stop. So let's see if we saved ourselves the McDonald's money. If we saved ourselves some McDonald's money, it was all worth it. Welcome, one new viewer. Looks like so happy you joined us here today. Although you're a little late to this session. 850. You know the deal. Day's almost halfway over. So boom, 77 hit. So our original stop loss would have got taken anyways. Saved ourselves $10. And what else is there? Let's look at this market on a week. Oh my lordy lord. Oh my lordy lord. Alright, so you have micro levels, macro levels, and mega levels. You want to know what the mega levels are? Well, one's at 12,000. Okay, this is the NASDAQ. One's at 18,000. Okay, so that's going to be like right here. One's going to be at 26,000. And next one, 33,000. And below this one, or below 12, is 6. So we have 6,000, 12,000, 18,000, 33,000. And as you can see, the price is making its way through these. But 26K, I don't know. Alright, so here we are, 15-minute chart, macro levels, halfway through the day almost. In this macro pivot zone. Now if the macro pivot zone did get breached like which it did here, this does tell me ultimately price does want higher. However, we can be in a serious pullback as this pivot zone, our first target would be the zone below. So price moves from pivot zone to zone. So we would be targeting anywhere in here. The first target is obviously going to be the top of the zone. The last target is obviously going to be the bottom of the zone. And any runners that you may have would go down into the next pivot zone. Okay? So we come up out of this pivot zone, out of this zone, into this pivot zone, rejected, ultimate targets this zone, but we're getting some really crazy price action. Let's go back to a 2-minute chart. See if we can scalp a trade here. So, this is very interesting here. What makes this interesting? We have a pivot zone. We have a zone. We have a macro level in this zone. If I go to macro lines, you can see this is the macro levels. We have price in a downtrend, so people want to see price go lower. Price should go lower, but it's not going lower. So I think I'm gonna if we could break I'm gonna buy in here. Targeting 96. 2. Alright. So yes, this could reverse, keep going lower, even stop you out and then go higher again. But we went long on this break above and this candle and this dip into the pivot. So we need to be aggressive on this. So I'm actually going to trail one out in a second here. Give it just a second. We want to let some bars close. Definitely don't want to see anything come below this here. So what do we have on the volume? Nice green volume. Nothing too big yet. We probably prematured that. We'll see. Why do I say prematured? Because we don't have any type of double bottom. This could have been a double bottom, like right here. But we'll see. We'll see. So if our entry was 77, I want to take one off at 87 too. But I'll do 86. I did 3 micro contracts. So every 10 points is $60. So 77 to 87 would be $60. But I'd only take one off, which would lock in $20, which it's about to hit right now. Okay, so one is locked in. I was originally going to take 2 off at 96, but I'm actually just going to sell 1 at 96. My last one will be a runner that we'll put at break even or something like that. So again, the volume we want it low as it's moving in the direction we want. We don't want to see high volume in the direction we want, because that is typically the sign of exhaustion, which then price can consolidate. So that's a good sign. We want to see this kind of explode here. So we just touched the pivot zone, or the zone, right? So we went from pivot zone to zone. Now we could come back to pivot zone. However, I want to see that macro level get hit. Most people don't understand, but macro levels are important. So I want to see the macro level get hit. But we're definitely going to get some volatility around here. So let's see what happens. ultimately, like I'm being greedy right now, because if you were playing from pivot zone to zone, which that is the ultimate strategy, then your take profit would have been, you would have took all your marbles, or most your marbles. Now I only took 1/3 of my marbles off here, so maybe I should have took 2/3 of my marbles off here, because I am trying to play conservative, right? You don't want to be greedy. You don't want to be greedy in this game. Now, that's fine. We came in, tapped into this little. See how price ended up closing right here, but then it opened and created this little gap. You see price came in, filled that little gap, starting to reverse. What we really just don't want to see is price get this is the support. So this is really where my stop loss would be, but my stop loss more like yeah, it's like right here. If 70 could hold would be nice. 70 is not anything, it's just a psychological level. Which is typically a stop run level. So right back up here, let's see if we can get to our target. Our target we're targeting for is just shy of the big number, and we'll still even have a runner too. Ultimately we want to see that hit. Ultimately, price could come back up to the 12 here, and at that point we could start seeing some real consolidation, because this never hit that 12. So it may come back up to the 12. It may even run, into our pivot zone again. Obviously, if this was going to come down, it still can, but it wouldn't have made this reversal. This would have kept going. take a look at the weekly expected move. So price is nearing the lower edge of the weekly expected move. We opened right here. The option market was only pricing in this much of a move. Takes her down. The NASDAQ. Let's see if it has room to make a comeback. Alright, let's see, we're breaking back up into our zone. Remember, our target on our second contract is right here. Once price does hit 500, we'll move our stop loss down into like 85-ish. Maybe break even at 77. So our entry was somewhere in here. We had a first TP right here. Second TP is going to be right here. Third one's going to be a runner. Our stop loss is around here. Frankly, I really wouldn't want to see price come underneath. Goober. see. You know, I'm actually going to trail this, so. Oh. I was gonna get out. I'll let it go. Now the reason why I want to let it go is because we're really close to the macro level. Oh no. So we have this down move. This created a down arrow. My stop loss is on 59. Actually 56. Big stupid fucking candle here. Let's see.
Let's see if they got the mystery gift. Look how cool this is. So people can go to parties and bring food
That's cool.
and have it covered. It's kind of nice, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And there's like a little cheese thing in it. That's a cool mystery gift, isn't it?
Alright, so this is gonna get me. Unreal. Minor setback. So that's the issue, trading past. $9.15. So price is just right back into the pivot zone. So we don't want to FOMO chase this short unless we start see it breaking. So we're gonna wait, and it might bounce, and at that point we can play the long again. But I am done streaming for the day. I'm gonna make breakfast, go into work. Adios.